with the internet, with the help of internet, of course, I know that a lot of people waste their time on the internet looking for fancy things to look at just to pass time, no? Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started with this episode. But the internet is also a very huge opportunity for us, no? In that you can connect with people, you can engage with people. You and I, we never met before, no? We just exchange contact. Now we are talking, no?
Yeah.
Who know what usually happens that people can actually do a lot of things on the internet in terms of business and engagement in a healthy and positive way. How do you think people like that are just starting out can take advantage of the internet to help themselves become published authors? I mean, what value are out there on the internet to tap into?
Well, I think that, first, probably one of the best things they could do is to contact us, Beauty and the Beast Publishing, because as well as the fact that we're a smaller company on our own, we are affiliated with some of the largest writing groups around the world. So probably by contacting us, we'd be able to put you in contact with those groups as well, so that you can help to raise your profile and awareness of your books, as well as your skills as a writer. So it would help in terms of collaboration, etc. So yeah, that would probably be one of the best ways. And also just familiarizing yourself with other people that are similar to you from other maybe social media, etc., being a part of various groups, writing groups, etc., so that you can, share experiences and learn from each other.
Do you think that there are certain capability that one need to have to start a book project? Like, okay, by that I mean academic qualification. You need to have certain degree before you can be a book author. Can you say anything about that?
Definitely not. I published several times before I got my second degree, but I would say that it would help. You know, if you were qualified, then you wouldn't need as much support, because you'd be able to go away and do this independently. But if you didn't, then coming to somewhere like Beauty and the Beast Publishing, or being a part of our academy, which is a Snazzy Writing Academy, would be able to assist you with that, in terms of gaining the skills and expertise in order to do this for yourself.
All right. Now, looking at it from the point of view of business, people who want to make money creating content, what do you want to say about outsourcing? Say maybe, for example, somebody have a business model that he's not a writer. He doesn't want to be a writer, but he still want to make money creating content, because I sort of find it that is in line with what you are doing. How can a person like that get started?
Well, it's very possible. I mean, to be honest, you would probably need to have some experience about various issues and decide on what sort of content and who you would want to supply that to. If you felt that your work was very aligned to a particular company, then you could approach them direct and show them samples of your work, or request a meeting, etc. In our business, as well as the fact that we are book publishers and media creatives as well, we also supply content as well to other businesses, and we receive a good income from doing so.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. No, say maybe a company want to contact you for content. I don't know. Of course, it depends on how much you want to say about that. How does it usually work? Like, they call you, they tell you, do this for us, or tell us about it. Like, a company want to benefit from your service to create content for them.
Sure. So they could find us available on any major social media. We're also on Fiverr, Freelancer, and the likes. But the best thing I would advise anyone to do is to contact us via the website, or if you see us on any of the social media pages, you can contact us via there. And then they would need to reach out to us and tell us what their requirements are. And then we would have a meeting and a general discussion to see where we maybe would be able to fit within their expectations, and hopefully we could work out, a way of how we'd be able to provide content for them. At the moment, as a business, I believe that we provide content to at least 6 other organizations at the moment, and that's growing.
As a business model, creating content for people and earning money from it, how easy is it to even run? Or say maybe some other persons are interested in starting a business like that. How simple is it? How complex it is?
It's as easy as you want it to be. So, for instance, I would say you would need to probably, develop some sort of expertise in this area, so that so I would say, if you've never done it before and you're doing it for the first, whatever, you probably want to offer some of your services voluntarily, so that you can get yourself out there. Other companies that wouldn't really take you on if you don't have the experience to do so. Just your desire would not be enough. And I started with desire, sort of brought me into this business. But you have to start from somewhere. So you would probably start providing content, maybe for smaller companies, or maybe not ideally the company you would want to create for you. And even if you did want to supply, I don't know, say you wanted to supply content to Google, for instance, as an example, you probably would find that you would be best served supplying this content and offering it on a volunteer basis for a while, and probably take on, I don't know, contact some other magazines and editorials and offer them the same service as well, so that you can build a profile. And then once you've done that, then you can start charging for it. But I would say initially, get yourself a profile on some of these other forums, such as Fiverr and Freelancer, and offer those services to other companies, to other potential companies, and offer very competitive rates, and more than likely you will get the work.
Mm-hmm. This is very important. Of course, we are moving towards the end of the conversation just now, but I want to really single out that this one is very important, because people need to understand that, yes, you can do it. It doesn't mean that you must have a certain qualification from a certain university before you can do it. And looking at our demography, looking at the African diaspora, for example, there are a lot of people, for example, who maybe came from Africa with qualification, but getting to Europe, because they are European resident, where they are staying doesn't have a kind of a good treaty, their qualification is useless. So the only job they can do here is just do cleaning and things like that. But these are people that are maybe that be teacher, or they have BSc. They are qualified. They have undergo training, but they can never use their qualification. So to those kind of people who will quickly become parents and therefore have all these difficulty that they are going to be facing every day, it is not difficult to find a lot of depression in the community, but we know where it is coming from. So the question now is that it is also possible for this kind of people to start something of their own. So that is why I was trying to sort of ask you there what they can do.
Yeah.
Because maybe what you need is just a computer. You can start to learn something, and you can start to do something for yourself, because they are not useless.
No, of course not. And they have a very valuable contribution to make. I mean, I would say that anybody who was in Africa, and just in the example you provided, if you were in Africa and you came to the UK or any other country, you've got a great story to tell. Most recently, we published someone who started they were living in the Middle East, and they relocated to Australia. And so they had a really prolific story to a journey to write about and discuss, and they told their story, and the book is doing extremely well. And I think for anybody, not just for somebody who was from that country and then went to Australia, but for anybody who's doing a big move like that, like I wish that book was out before I went to Australia. I could have really benefited from it and probably wouldn't have suffered as much hardship. So this is why it's really important for people to tell their stories, So before you even make a decision on something, you can have a look to see if there is a narrative that's already produced, regarding this, and which is a real life story that you can probably resonate or relate to, because you may either come upon or have had that experience.
All right. Now, starting this business or working in this business for a long time, what are the things that are motivating you, that are helping you to go on despite the challenges? So tell us about that.
So I think that every day I'm motivated because of the demographic that I work with. You know, they all come from very challenging backgrounds, and so there is a responsibility for that demographic. So that keeps me motivated. As I mentioned to you before as well, that I would like to just see a fairer and just society for, you know, upcoming generations, especially within my own family and my grandchildren, etc. So I would like to see a fair and just place for them to grow up in. Those are the things that keep me motivated.
Thank you so much for that. All right, we really have touched different angles here. Though, of course, there are some other things I would have also like to ask you, but that is where we are going to cut it today. Otherwise, we're going to stay here forever. Usually, I would ask my guests to conclude the conversation in their own way because, you know, perhaps there are something you wanted to say that I didn't ask you because I don't have any possibility of knowing everything you want to say, you know. So this is
Sure.
the last chance. Is there anything that you want to add to the conversation to conclude it? Please go ahead.
Yeah. I would just like to say that anybody who is interested in writing a book, or if they want to write a movie, or if they want to, you know, produce a movie or anything like that, or anything that's creative within that genre, please reach out to us. You know, our speciality is producing and publishing aspiring authors, and we, as I mentioned before, we always also have an academy that you can come through. We offer our services on a lifetime basis as well. So as long as we're in business, you always have access to us. We have over 20 years within the experience within the industry as well. And we'd be very keen to work with you.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure on my part.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening and talk to you in the next episode.